The thing that we all thought was going to happen finally happened. Kevin Durant just got traded to the Houston Rockets. I was about to go on my daily run. Have to push that to the back burner for now because content calls. The Houston Rockets just gave up Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, the 10th pick, and 5 second-round picks for Kevin Durant. It was just for Kevin Durant, nothing else. I like this trade, honestly, for both sides. Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets means Ime Udoka finally gets his guy. It seems like he's had his heart out for KD for a couple of years now. Even when he was in Boston, it kind of felt like he was floating around the idea of grabbing a Kevin Durant. So Ime Udoka finally got his guy. He finally got a late game closer type, a guy they can rely on to finish games, as well as a shot creator. They've been struggling with shot creation, especially in the playoffs last year. While Jalen Green can get a shot off, he's athletic, he's quick enough to get around defenders and get shots up. He hasn't been efficient. He hasn't learned efficiency, and I believe he's heading into year 5, I believe it is, and he still hasn't learned how to be more efficient. The most efficient Jalen Green's been has been when he's taken 5 or more dribbles in a possession, or basically when the teams let him go iso ball, and it's just not efficient enough. We saw it in the playoffs last year. Jalen Green kind of not got exposed, but he definitely looked the worst I've ever seen out of him. He had one 38-point game, I believe, but if you erase that 38-point game, I believe he averaged 9 points per game in that series. That's just not good enough for your guy who's supposed to be your best perimeter shot creator. That's why I'm surprised the Rockets didn't have to give up more pick equity, because in my opinion, Jalen Green is a negative asset. I know that might be harsh to say, but again, he's getting paid a boatload of money next year. It's over $30 million for a guy who, again, still doesn't know how to score efficiently, still doesn't know where his spots are on the court to get to, and a shot that's automatic for him. B, he's not a great defender. I don't know if I said 1 or 2 there, but 2, B, whatever. Not really a great defender, doesn't really fit their scheme. 3, he's not a great assist man. He's not a good playmaker in any sense. But he does have the flashy plays. He jumps high. He has all the ability to be a good scorer, the physical tools, the shot creation, the moves with the ball, the handle. But he just hasn't been in his NBA career. The Rockets also gave up Dillon Brooks, which, I'm surprised it wasn't another young player like a Tari or something like that. Tari, even a freaking Jayshawn Tate. Tari's a really good player. Thank God Houston kept him for Rockets fans. Dillon Brooks is a good player. I'm not sure what the Suns are trying to do now. This clearly means tear down and try and rebuild. You get the 10th pick, which is pretty solid. 5 second-round picks ain't bad either. You could use those 5 second-round picks. I mean, maybe you can try and get off Bradley Beal. Retool some of those picks into purpose picks and use them to get off Bradley Beal. They need to get off Bradley Beal. That's really the most urgent news for Phoenix in the offseason, in my opinion, is they need to get rid of or figure out something to do with Bradley Beal. But this is the first step in a right direction for the Phoenix Suns. I was about to call them the Houston Suns. Stupid. For Phoenix, this is the right move. You need to tear it down to kind of build it back up. And getting the 10th pick and 5 second-round picks, it's not a ton. You didn't get a young player like maybe they wanted. Like, you didn't get a Reed Shepherd. You didn't get anybody like that of the sort. You weren't going to get a Men Thompson. I'll guarantee you. You weren't going to get Şengün, obviously. I'm just surprised the player pool wasn't including like a Tari Eason or something like that. Kevin Durant just found out on stage at Fanatics Fest that he got traded to the Houston Rockets. That is kind of nuts, I can't lie to you. But that's how it is in the modern NBA. Most of these players find out they're being traded via Twitter. I guess it's better to find out through a live crowd at an event they are being traded. I don't know. Going into next season, the Houston Rockets starting 5 doesn't seem that bad, though. I mean, Fred VanVleet as a team option for $44 million, I believe it is. The team's probably going to pick that one up. It's only 1 year, and they could obviously move him after next year. Or not move him, but they can let him walk after next year if they want. Or they can re-ink him to another deal, and it'll be kind of like more of a team-friendly deal, ideally, for Houston, because $40+ million for Freddie, I just wouldn't do that, especially he's aging, and he's a small guard that relies on a lot of tough shots. Amen Thompson at the 2, that's the young high flyer, great defender. You hope he can get a little bit of three-point shot because you know he's going to be working more off the ball with Kevin Durant now, but he does have all the intangibles to be an all-star, an elite player in this league. We know that. Kevin Durant at the 3, I mean, this is just how they're working it, but they're saying Kevin Durant at the 3, Tari Eason at the 4, Şengün at the 5. If that's how they do that, that'd be a very fun, versatile lineup. You can dump it down to Şengün. He can get you a bucket in the paint. You got Kevin Durant, who can go get you a bucket in the mid-range. This team looks very dangerous now. I wonder, though, I wonder if Miami had gotten a bid in. Miami did get a bid in, but I guess they realized that they would rather have the 10th pick and Jalen Green, I guess, as their long-term assets. You could even move Dillon Brooks if you so feel like it, and maybe get more pick equity out of that. Matt Ishbia has had a really weird tenure in Phoenix. A lot of the trades that he has called for or the pushing of like, we need to get better, we need to get better, we need to get better, has kind of dug them into an absolute rut of a franchise. And it's nice to see they got some pick equity out of this. Even though it's only one first rounder in 5 seconds, it's still something. And then, you can try and figure out the Jalen Green thing. I don't believe in Phoenix developing him because they basically have the Michael Jordan of Jalen Greens and Devin Booker. But now you see a three of Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Bradley Beal. It's something. I'm not sure. I don't know what the long-term strategy is for Houston because I'm sure Devin Booker would like to be a Suns lifer, and I'm sure a lot of Suns fans would like D-Book to be a Suns lifer. But, bro, they've dug themselves into such a deep hole with these win-now moves. You got to do something. Bradley Beal's not going to get moved. That's the bad news. I don't know where he would accept a trade to unless it's like, I don't know, because I don't even think he wanted to go to Miami. I'm pretty sure he nixed Miami. I don't know what that means. You're probably going to have to hold out Bradley Beal, which is going to be absolutely long-term disgusting because he's going to be hated by the fan base still, as if you didn't see that enough this year. He's probably going to get hated on more by the fan base when they're probably worse next season too. For the Houston Rockets, I'd have to workshop it and kind of see what free agency does. But this team could very well be a repeat top 3 seed in the West. They were so tough last season. It sucks they got rid of Dillon Brooks because as much as people troll Dillon Brooks, you see it on social media and YouTube channels, he does some clown shit here and there. And there's times where he definitely deserves the trolling and the disrespect that comes his way. When he kick a cameraman or whatever back when he was in Memphis his last year there. I think that might have been first year in Houston. I actually don't remember. But as much shit as Dillon Brooks gets and as much hate as Dillon Brooks gets, there's a quality player in there. He can real deal ball. He shot a real good percentage from 3 last year, and he's a really good defender. Dillon Brooks deserves some of the hate he gets. I said that rightfully so, but he's not a bad player. So in my opinion, it sucks that the Rockets gave him up because he kind of represented their identity last year, which was this, hard-fought, gritty team that, hey, if you're going to win the game 96-92. You're not going to score 100 plus on us. And that's kind of what it felt like with Dillon Brooks and them last year. So that sucks. They get rid of a little bit of their defensive identity, but you do get the late game closer that you saw they just desperately needed, especially in Game 7. In Game 7, you saw they had a chance. The door was open. Even though Buddy Hield was going crazy and then Steph started going crazy, the door wasn't slammed shut. It's just they had no go-to offense. Freddie had it going from games 4 to 6, I believe it was. Game 7, it was like nobody really showed up. Does this make the Houston Rockets title contenders? To me, I don't know. I don't know. Because this starting 5 is not bad. Van Vliet, Thompson, Durant, Eason, Şengün. Like, that's not bad. And then off the bench, they still have Steven Adams. Aaron Holiday might still be there. Reed Shepherd, maybe there's another step in that development. I think they could real deal make a run. Again, I'd have to see how free agency goes and how the West shakes up for next season because the West is consistently tough. Kevin Durant's learned that, playing with the Suns. The West is tough. You're going to get kicked down to the floor. But I've been focusing a lot on the Rockets side of this trade because obviously they landed one of the biggest stars in basketball. This isn't a long-term thing, I would assume, for the Rockets because KD's like 36, 37. He's old. He's old, man. Maybe it might be like 35. Either way, KD's older, so this is kind of a closer to a win-now move. But part of what I'm seeing here is that there's a chance that, like, Amen Thompson helps, or Kevin Durant helps Amen Thompson, his development, stuff like that. So maybe, Amen takes the reins after, but Kevin Durant being there definitely keeps their title window open more, and I think it gives them a bigger margin than like Jalen Green did. As much as I like Dillon Brooks, I was never a fan of the Jalen Green-led perimeter offense. I didn't like that at all. Seeing some people say the Suns fleeced the Rockets. I mean, I wouldn't say any of that's a fleece. Don't get me wrong. None of that is fleecing. Of course, it depends on what the 10th pick turns into. If they somehow manage to grab, I don't know, an all-star at the 10th pick, okay, maybe you can look back at it and say, yeah, that's a fleece. But as for right now, it's just Suns got some of the assets back that they lost in previous trades. Like I said, the 5 second-round picks is interesting, but you can repackage a Dillon Brooks, move him somewhere else. You can, if someone wants to take if they want to run Jalen Green, more power to them. But I'm not a Jalen Green believer. I was last year. Very much. Before that season, I was so bought in with that leap he had. Obviously, not the season that just passed, but the season before, it looked like he'd taken a leap in the last like 2 months of the year, and I was like, oh shit, here's the Jalen Green breakout. And then last season, it was just the same old, and so I kind of got tired of that. But it'd be nice to see him maybe turn his career around in a different place. You know what I mean? And it's funny because I just saw a video like a couple days ago of him and his 40-year-old wife. That's a different scenario, weird situation there. But hopefully he can turn his career around in Phoenix, because yeah, he's getting paid a ton. He's not producing a ton though, so I don't know, it'd be nice to see that. So some people may be worried about the longevity issue of Kevin Durant and say things like, well, the Rockets shortened their window. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if the window was really even open if Jalen Green was their best perimeter shot maker creator. You know what I mean? Is the window even open if it's still Jalen Green rocking out? Probably not, in my opinion. So I really just do like I like the trade for both sides, to be honest. Feels like a really fair deal. The 10th pick can be turned into ideally something. And then, of course, you still have a little fun team over there in Phoenix. If they want to run that out there, they can. Give D-Book a starting five of what? Is Tyus even there anymore? I don't know if Tyus is under deal for next year. They might just run Booker, Jalen, Beal. I don't know who's playing the 4 and the 5. Plumlee? Who the hell is even going to be there next year? I have no idea. Oh, Dylan Brooks can run the 4. I don't know what they're going to do about that. Really weird built team now. But they've always been a really weird build team since Ishbia took over. And then the last little bit I'd like to touch on is Miami not getting him. That was a very popular conversation, was Miami swinging for the fences for him. It's so wild, in my opinion, how Pat Riley built that team so poorly that they don't even have the assets to manage a trade for any of the star players that they've swung on. They've taken chances on multiple of these same star caliber guys, and they've hit on none of them because they just don't have the assets. Tyler Hero, they're trying to keep in Bam Adebayo. Otherwise than that, they don't have many young players. So that's very, very weird to see them trying to contend in these trades when they very clearly just don't have the young assets to match these other teams. A majority of other teams have better assets than Miami. That's just tough. I'm thankful for the people of Phoenix. They finally get to put this team to rest, this concept team of this mid-3 with Booker, Beal, and Durant. I'm so finally okay with them getting rid of this. It makes way too much sense. So good for Phoenix for starting to tear this down and not repeat the year of mid last year. It was an ugly season to watch for them. I tried watching so many of their games last year, and it was just hard to view. So I'm glad they broke it up, and they've committed to tearing it down. Even if it's not a full rebuild and it's just a retool around Booker, at least there's something there. And then, you know what? Let me be happy for the Suns, too. Maybe you get a Bradley Beal revitalization with no Kevin Durant. He gets more shots. Actually, maybe he doesn't, because Jalen Green ain't passing that motherfucker. So maybe he doesn't get more shots. But Bradley Beal, for as bad as the contract is, he's not really an awful player. He shot like 40% from 3 this year. Like that, there's quality play there. It's just not consistent quality play. He doesn't really fill a role that they need, and the pay is way too high. So that's tough for the Suns to manage. And then a stat from Underdog. No player has ever made All-NBA with 5 different teams. Kevin Durant has a chance to be the first. I don't know if he will because, again, he's aging and he's playing with a bunch of other guys. But that could be really fun to see, don't get me wrong. I'm very interested in seeing what Phoenix does with that 10th pick. Who we looking at, guys? Let me know down in the comments if you're a Suns fan, who you're looking at the 10th pick. Maybe like a Malwalk. Is he going to be available at 10? I don't know. They need a big man, though. I can assure you of that one. And finally, for Houston, you get a really good player. Your championship window is officially open. You know what I mean? Before this trade, I don't know if I would have considered them a championship-level team. They're a quality team without KD, but they're a better team with KD rather than Jalen Green. I think we can all agree on that one. Talk to me down below, Rockets fans, how you guys are feeling. Talk to me down below, Suns fans. I would love to gauge interest on this trade from you guys. Talk to me down below. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to go catch the game. See you guys in the next one.